All right, kids, now we're going to be adding the color to your still life. Now, last week we used colored pencils. I showed you how to blend them in your cityscape. I'm going to use crayons today. Hopefully, a lot of you have crayons. This is the standard 24 pack, so nothing too fancy. If you don't have those, if you don't have crayons, you can use whatever you have available. If you do not have markers or crayons or pastels or watercolors, you can shade with some pencil, just your regular lead pencil, if that is all that you have. So we're going to start by looking at your original picture that you drew from, because it's important when you're doing the color, you want to be looking at all the different colors that these fruits and veggies. This apple isn't just red. It has some browns and oranges, even a little bit of green in the bottom. This banana has some lime green, some golden yellows, and then some very light areas that almost look white. The grapes have reddish purples and darker purples. We may not be able to get the colors exact just because, we have a limited amount of colors available, but we're gonna definitely try to add some variation to this. So I'm gonna start with the apple. It's a little bit bigger so that you can see. And to get some of those browns, you always want to start with what is the less dominant or lighter color. So this orange is a little bit lighter that I want to introduce down here. The red is gonna be pretty dominant and kind of go over everything else. So I could add some of that orange, and I can put a little bit of yellow over top of it to get some warmer shades. I'm gonna go now to the red. And when I'm adding the red, where I want to blend it together, I'm going to go really lightly over top. Because I'm then going to go back to those lighter colors and go over this so that I get that blending from one color to the next. So at the top here, I want it to be that bright red. So I'm going to color this really solidly. I'm pressing pretty hard with the crayon. And kind of working up to where I'm going to be blending those together. So a little less pressure, kind of getting that in between. And I'm going to go back to that orange and start adding some of that over top of the red, getting the blending, and maybe even some of that golden yellow. And then back to the red a little more. So we have an apple that has a little bit of shading to it. Same thing for the bananas. Now this yellow green is very, very light. It almost doesn't show up as green, so I'm going to use a little bit darker over here to give that little bit of shading of that green on my apple, so you can see, on the banana, so you can see how that works. So I'm pressing a little harder because it's a pretty light color. I'm going to go back with that yellow and go over top of that so you kind of see how that shading is going to work for the banana. And grapes are fun. Let's do the really dark ones. So I have this very dark purple. You can see that's towards the bottom of the grape. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that dark purple, and the area that I want the lighter color, this should work. I'm gonna go, I actually had them backwards. It's always good also to have some test paper, so especially for you guys, to give it a try, blending the colors together before you go to your final copy. And look, with this light purple, I can even color it lightly and then use the white over top of it to get even more of a highlight. So I'm gonna use that white here to blend that and make it even a little lighter. So I still was able to manage that, getting the darker to the lighter for the grape. Hopefully you can see that, how the shading goes. The bowl, in this picture it is yellow, but I think the bowl, you can do whatever colors you want. I would like to see you try to shade it if you have the ability, if you have those materials. And again, I hope you have fun. When you are completely finished with your project, you need to post it in the folder where it says artwork. There's an artwork folder for you to put a photograph of your work, and that way you can show your classmates, and I'm also going to be looking at it so that I can mark that you have completed the assignment. I hope you have a great time with this project and stay safe.